Welcome to our documentary on Charles Dickens, one of the most celebrated authors in the history of English literature. Charles Dickens was born on February 7, 1812, in Portsmouth, England. His works have captivated readers for nearly 2 centuries, painting vivid pictures of Victorian England and crafting unforgettable characters that continue to resonate with audiences today. Dickens was more than just a novelist. He was a keen observer of society, a master of storytelling, and a powerful voice for social reform. His novels not only entertain but also shed light on the harsh realities of life in 19th century England, particularly for the poor and disadvantaged. Among Dickens' most famous works are Oliver Twist, the tale of an orphan boy navigating the dangerous streets of London; A Christmas Carol, the beloved holiday story of Ebenezer Scrooge's redemption; and Great Expectations, a coming-of-age novel that explores themes of social class and personal growth. But Dickens' impact extends far beyond these well-known titles. His entire body of work, including David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, and Bleak House, forms a rich tapestry of Victorian life, filled with humor, pathos, and keen social commentary. In this documentary, we'll explore the life of Charles Dickens, from his humble beginnings to his rise as a literary giant. We'll delve into the experiences that shaped his worldview, examine his most influential works, and consider the lasting impact he has had on literature and society. Join us as we journey through the world of Charles Dickens, a world of colorful characters, intricate plots, and timeless stories that continue to capture the imagination of readers around the globe. Let's begin by looking at Dickens' early life and the experiences that would come to define his literary career. Charles Dickens' early years were marked by both joy and hardship, experiences that would profoundly shape his future writings. Born in 1812 in Portsmouth, England, Charles was the second of 8 children in the Dickens family. His father, John Dickens, worked as a naval clerk, and his mother, Elizabeth, aspired to be a teacher. The family's fortunes were unstable, often teetering between comfort and poverty. Young Charles enjoyed a relatively happy early childhood. He was a bright and imaginative boy, fond of outdoor games and amateur theatricals. However, this period of contentment was short-lived. In 1822, when Charles was just 10 years old, the family moved to Camden Town in London due to his father's work. This move marked the beginning of a difficult period in Dickens' life. 2 years later, disaster struck. John Dickens was arrested for debt and sent to the Marshalsea debtors' prison. This event would leave an indelible mark on young Charles and later feature prominently in his novel Little Dorrit. With his family in dire straits, 12-year-old Charles was forced to leave school and work at Warren's blacking factory, a shoe polish manufacturer. Here, he endured long hours of tedious and often humiliating work, pasting labels on pots of bootblacking. This experience of child labor was traumatic for Dickens. He felt abandoned and betrayed by the adults who should have protected him. The squalid conditions of the factory and the struggle of the working poor he witnessed would later become recurring themes in his novels. Even after his father was released from prison and Charles returned to school, the memory of this period haunted him. He kept this experience a secret for many years, revealing it only to his closest friend and future biographer, John Forster. These early hardships gave Dickens a unique perspective on social injustice and the struggles of the poor. They fueled his passion for social reform and provided him with a wealth of material for his future novels. As we'll see in the next section, these childhood experiences would prove crucial in shaping Dickens' literary voice and his rise to fame. Now, let's explore how young Charles Dickens transformed from a factory worker into one of the most famous authors of his time. Charles Dickens' journey from a child laborer to a literary giant is a testament to his extraordinary talent and determination. After returning to school, Dickens developed a voracious appetite for reading. He devoured works by Henry Fielding, Daniel Defoe, and other classic authors, laying the foundation for his own literary career. At the age of 15, Dickens began working as an office boy in a law firm. Ambitious and hardworking, he taught himself shorthand and soon became a freelance reporter. By his late teens, he was working as a parliamentary reporter, covering debates in the House of Commons. This experience as a journalist honed Dickens' writing skills and exposed him to a wide range of human experiences and societal issues. It also gave him insight into the workings of government and the law, themes that would feature prominently in his later novels. In 1833, at the age of 21, Dickens published his first story, A Dinner at Poplar Walk, in the monthly magazine. This marked the beginning of his career as a fiction writer. He continued to write short sketches of London life, which were published in various newspapers and magazines under the pseudonym Boz. The turning point in Dickens' career came in 1836 with the publication of the Pickwick Papers. Originally commissioned as a series of captions for sporting plates, Dickens turned it into a full-fledged novel published in monthly installments. The Pickwick Papers was an overnight sensation. Readers were captivated by the humorous adventures of the Pickwick Club members, and sales soared with each new installment. By the time the last chapter was published in 1837, Dickens had become a literary celebrity at the young age of 25. The success of the Pickwick Papers launched Dickens' career as a novelist. He quickly followed it with Oliver Twist, serialized from 1837 to 1839, which further cemented his reputation. This novel, with its unflinching portrayal of child poverty and crime in London, showcased Dickens' ability to combine entertaining storytelling with serious social commentary. Dickens' rise to fame was meteoric. His works were not only popular in England but also gained a significant following in America. He became a household name, and his new installments were eagerly awaited by a growing army of fans. This early success set the stage for Dickens' prolific career. He would go on to write numerous novels, short stories, and articles, becoming the preeminent chronicler of Victorian England. In our next section, we'll delve into some of Dickens' major works and explore the themes that made his writing so powerful and enduring. Charles Dickens was not content to be merely a successful author. He used his fame and his pen as powerful tools for social reform, becoming one of the most influential social critics of the Victorian era. Dickens' activism was deeply rooted in his personal experiences. His childhood brush with poverty and child labor gave him a unique insight into the struggles of the working class. As an adult, he channeled these experiences into his writing and his advocacy work. One of Dickens' primary concerns was the plight of children in Victorian England. He was a vocal critic of child labor practices, using novels like Oliver Twist and David Copperfield to expose the harsh realities faced by working children. His depictions of workhouses and orphanages shocked many readers and helped spur reforms in these institutions. Education was another passion for Dickens. He believed strongly in the power of education to lift people out of poverty. In his novel Nicholas Nickleby, he attacked the brutal conditions in Yorkshire boarding schools, leading to public outrage and eventual reforms in the school system. Dickens was also a critic of the justice system. Bleak House offered a scathing portrayal of the Court of Chancery, highlighting its inefficiency and the way it ruined lives. His works often depicted the unfairness of a legal system that favored the wealthy and powerful. Beyond his writing, Dickens was actively involved in various social causes. He supported and raised funds for Urania Cottage, a home for fallen women or prostitutes, helping them rehabilitate and reintegrate into society. He advocated for public health reforms, including better sanitation in poor neighborhoods. He spoke out against public executions, arguing that they brutalized society rather than deterring crime. He championed copyright laws to protect authors' rights and livelihoods. Dickens used his fame to draw attention to these issues. He gave speeches, wrote articles, and corresponded with other reformers and politicians. His journal, Household Words, later renamed All the Year Round, often featured articles on social issues alongside fiction and poetry. However, it's important to note that Dickens' approach to social reform was gradual rather than revolutionary. He believed in the power of individual kindness and charity to address social ills, rather than radical changes to the social structure. Dickens' social activism was not without its critics. Some accused him of exaggeration or sentimentality in his portrayals of poverty and injustice. Nevertheless, his works undeniably raised public awareness of social issues and contributed to the reform movement of the Victorian era. The legacy of Dickens' social activism lives on. Many of the issues he wrote about, poverty, social inequality, the failures of institutions, remain relevant today, ensuring that his works continue to resonate with modern readers. In our next section, we'll take a closer look at Dickens' personal life, including his family, his reading tours, and the challenges he faced in his later years. While Charles Dickens' public persona was that of a celebrated author and social reformer, his personal life was complex and, at times, tumultuous. In 1836, at the age of 24, Dickens married Catherine Hogarth, the daughter of his friend and editor George Hogarth. Together, they had 10 children. However, their marriage was not a happy one. Dickens found Catherine to be an incompatible partner, lacking the energy and intellectual curiosity he desired. Despite the challenges in his marriage, Dickens was devoted to his children and worked tirelessly to provide for them. He was particularly close to his eldest son, Charlie, and his daughter Kate. However, he was often disappointed by his son's lack of ambition and financial dependency on him. In 1857, Dickens met Ellen Ternan, an actress 27 years his junior. He became infatuated with her, leading to the breakdown of his marriage. In 1858, Dickens separated from Catherine in a scandal that shocked Victorian society. While he never publicly acknowledged his relationship with Ellen, it's believed they remained together until his death. Throughout his life, Dickens was known for his boundless energy and capacity for hard work. He wrote prolifically, often working on multiple projects simultaneously. His daily routine typically involved writing in the morning, long walks in the afternoon, and socializing in the evening. Dickens was also famous for his public readings. Starting in the 1850s, he began giving dramatic recitals of his works, both in England and abroad. These performances were immensely popular and lucrative, but they were also physically demanding. Dickens would act out different characters with great enthusiasm, leaving him exhausted after each performance. In 1867 to 1868, Dickens embarked on a reading tour of America. While financially successful, the tour took a toll on his health. He suffered from what was likely a mild stroke, experiencing weakness in his left side and foot. Despite declining health, Dickens continued to write and perform. He was working on his final novel, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, when he suffered a stroke on June 8, 1870. He never regained consciousness and died the following day at the age of 58. Dickens' personal life was marked by contradictions. He was a champion of family values in his writing, yet his own family life was often strained. He advocated for the poor, yet he enjoyed the luxuries his success afforded him. These complexities add depth to our understanding of Dickens as not just a literary figure, but a human being with flaws and struggles of his own. In our final section, we'll explore the lasting legacy of Charles Dickens and his enduring influence on literature and popular culture. Charles Dickens' impact on literature and popular culture is immeasurable, extending far beyond his own lifetime and continuing to resonate in the modern world. In the realm of literature, Dickens is considered one of the greatest novelists of the Victorian era, if not of all time. His works have never gone out of print, a testament to their enduring appeal. Dickens' vivid characters, intricate plots, and masterful prose have influenced countless writers who followed him. Dickens' innovative narrative techniques, such as the use of multiple narrators in Bleak House, helped pave the way for modernist literature. His skill in creating memorable characters, from the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge to the tragic Sidney Carton, set a new standard in character development. Beyond literature, Dickens' influence can be seen in various aspects of popular culture. Film and television. Dickens' works have been adapted countless times for both the big and small screens. From early silent films to modern BBC miniseries, his stories continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Theater. Many of his novels have been transformed into successful stage plays and musicals. Oliver, based on Oliver Twist, is one of the most successful musicals in theater history. Language. Dickens coined many phrases that have become part of everyday English, such as bah, humbug. And it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Social reform. Dickens' portrayal of social issues in his novels contributed to real-world changes in areas such as child labor laws and education reform. His works continue to be cited in discussions of social justice. Christmas traditions. A Christmas Carol has become an integral part of Christmas celebrations around the world, influencing how we perceive and celebrate the holiday. Academically, Dickens' works are a cornerstone of literary studies. Scholars continue to analyze his novels, uncovering new layers of meaning and relevance. The term Dickensian has entered the lexicon, used to describe situations reminiscent of the social conditions in his novels. Dickens' legacy extends to the realm of tourism as well. Places associated with his life and works, such as his childhood home in Portsmouth and the Charles Dickens Museum in London, attract visitors from around the world. Perhaps most significantly, the themes Dickens explored, social inequality, the struggles of the working class, the corrupting influence of wealth, remain deeply relevant today. His ability to combine entertainment with social commentary continues to inspire writers, filmmakers, and artists who seek to shed light on contemporary issues. In essence, Charles Dickens did more than just write great novels. He created a literary legacy that has shaped our culture, our language, and our understanding of both the Victorian era and our own times. His works continue to be read, adapted, and discussed, ensuring that the voice of Charles Dickens remains as powerful and relevant today as it was in his own time. As we conclude our documentary, let's reflect on the enduring importance of Charles Dickens as both a writer and a social commentator. As we've explored throughout this documentary, Charles Dickens was far more than just a novelist. He was a keen observer of human nature, a powerful voice for social reform, and a master storyteller whose works continue to captivate readers around the world. From his humble beginnings in Portsmouth to his rise as the most famous author of the Victorian era, Dickens' life story is as compelling as any of his novels. His experiences of poverty and hardship in childhood fueled his passion for social justice and provided him with a unique perspective on the struggles of the working class. Dickens' literary achievements are monumental. His novels, with their unforgettable characters and intricate plots, have become classics of English literature. From the orphan Oliver Twist to the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge, Dickens created characters that have become cultural icons, recognized even by those who have never read his books. But Dickens' importance extends far beyond the realm of literature. As a social critic, he used his platform to shine a light on the injustices of Victorian society. His vivid portrayals of poverty, child labor, and social inequality shocked his readers and contributed to real-world reforms. In this way, Dickens demonstrated the power of literature to effect social change. The themes Dickens explored, the gap between rich and poor, the failures of institutions, the redemptive power of compassion, remain strikingly relevant today. This ongoing relevance ensures that Dickens' works continue to be read, studied, and adapted for new audiences. Dickens' legacy is also evident in the very language we use. Phrases he coined and character names he invented have become part of our everyday speech. The term Dickensian is still used to describe conditions of social deprivation or comically repulsive characters. As we reflect on the life and work of Charles Dickens, we're reminded of the enduring power of great literature. Dickens' novels entertain us, move us, and challenge us to think deeply about our society and our own place within it. His ability to combine storytelling with social commentary set a standard that authors still aspire to today. In conclusion, Charles Dickens remains a towering figure in English literature and culture. His works continue to be read, performed, and adapted, introducing new generations to his unique blend of humor, pathos, and social criticism. As long as there are readers who seek compelling stories and writers who aim to illuminate the human condition, the influence of Charles Dickens will endure. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and legacy of Charles Dickens, one of the greatest storytellers the world has ever known.